May I kindly ask all of you to clasp your palms, close your eyes, and join me in prayer. I apologize, it seems as though you will not be able to view the Pravachan because of some technical difficulties. However, the Pravachan will still be happening. Our topic for today is teachers, Guru. And teachers are most dear to God. One of the most prominent and one of the most renowned teachers that we have in Arya Samaj is Maharshi Swami Dayananda Saraswati, whose life inspires us to this day. We sing his praises time and time again and again. But more applicable is our teacher, Guruji Dr. Satish Prakash, who is not physically here, but his teachings continue to live on. His teachings are still being propagated, the books that he's written, and his life that he lives. He teaches all the students, a few of whom are not here today, the students, but his teachings, that which he gave his life to. All the Pandits and Panditas being products of that, his teachings, and myself included. It is because of his teachings and his life and what he does, what he gives of himself, his time, his resources, his knowledge, most importantly. It is because of that that we are all here today, and this pravachan is possible through his blessings and through his teachings. Ramcharitmanas, which Guruji has translated, it says that among human beings, teachers are most dear to God.
Hey
Among teachers, those who are well versed in Vedas, every teacher, especially a spiritual teacher, one like Guruji, should be well versed in Vedas. Among Vedic scholars, those who follow the Vedic word in their life is a testimony to what is prescribed and preached in the Vedas. Among these, those who keep away from sense pleasures, not overly being engaged in sense pleasures, but detached from all these things. Among these, those who are wise, and among those who are wise, those who have realized wisdom. In order to have realized wisdom, a teacher must have studied extensively. Guruji being one of them, he spent numerous years in India, and he continues to study. He never stopped studying. In all his Sanskrit classes too, he is always teaching, he's always rehashing his knowledge. So he continues to expound that which he's learned many, many years in Gurukul, and he continues to pass that along to myself and all his other students. And in that regard, our teachers are most dear to God. Ramcharitmanas continues to tell us, Tinhate puni mohi punyati janasa, Jai Sri Rama. Tinhate puni mohi punyati janasa, Jai Sri Rama. Tinhate mohi punyati janasa, Jai Sri Rama. Tinhate mohi punyati janasa, Jai Sri Among men of realized wisdom, and when I say men, I mean women too, because we all know Maharshi Swami Dayananda propagated women to study. He made sure they were given an opportunity to study, an equal opportunity to study with men. They were Kanya Gurukul, which he propagated, which he fought for girls to have an education, and girls who became into women and mothers and wives. But Swami Dayananda fought for that. So when I say among men of realized wisdom, I mean women too. Among people of realized wisdom, he who serves God's cause is dearest to him. Such a servant depends on God and no one else. One who dedicates his life to God's cause. Again, Guruji comes to mind. He doesn't have a family of his own. This Gurukul, that's his family. But he needs to leave the family, just as we need to go out into the working world in order to pay our bills and do whatever else is needed at home. In the same way, Guruji's left his home and he's propagating Arya Samaj and our Dharma, the word of Rishi Dayananda, in order for others too to have the opportunity to hear and receive the teachings of Vedas. And the Ramcharitmanas, again and again, I, Sri Ram, it is stated, tell you the truth that no one is dear to God as he who serves his cause. Serving one's cause, when I say that, I mean one who dedicates his resources, one who dedicates his time, one who dedicates his knowledge to others who can benefit. Satyarth Prakash too lays great emphasis. It stresses on the importance of education. There's a whole chapter on the education of children and how it is one of the most important things. It is said, it is the highest duty of parents, preceptors, teachers, and relatives to adorn children with good, sound education. And a good, sound education can only come from being taught by an authentic, by a genuine, and a Ved, one who has studied Ved, from a Ved Guru. Vidya, the ultimate wisdom. Vidya, Ramcharitmanas again continues to tell us, the ultimate wisdom is Vidya. ज्ञान की होय विराग बिनु बिन गुरु सोय की ज्ञान सुख की अति भक्ति ज्ञान की Is wisdom possible without a teacher? Some may say yes, Swadhyay means self-study. It is possible. But how does one who engages in self-study would be sure or know that it is authentic without a teacher? Studies, self-study, it is incomplete because there is no way of telling whether it is true or it is untruth. We need a teacher for guidance. Is wisdom possible without a teacher? Yes, but it is not complete. It is incomplete. It is only complete. Wisdom and knowledge is only complete when there is a teacher to guide us. Is wisdom possible without dispassion? Dispassion means detachment. If you detach yourself from something, from wisdom in this case, if you focus on other things but not wisdom, it is not possible. Wisdom is only possible when you're attached, when you study, and when you have a teacher to guide you. How can there be happiness without devotion to God? They go hand in hand. Happiness and devotion, when we're devoted to God and God's cause, then we're happy. As the Vedas and the ancient texts have declared, there's a whole section in the Ramcharitmanas says Bhakti Shakti, the power, Shakti, power of Bhakti, devotion. It is only through being devoted to God that we'll truly realize Him and will truly be knowledgeable of Him. No one can find peace without contentment. We sing this bhajan numerous times. Nahi chahiye rang mahalna, dhan daulat ki shan. We don't want material things, God. What we ask for is ik santosh ka dan. Dan, gift. Santosh, contentment. What we ask for is contentment. We may have all the money in the world, but if we do not have contentment, it will never be enough. But we may have less than someone else who has more than us. But if we have contentment, it goes a long way. If we have contentment, we will have peace in our lives. And peace is very important. In the mantras that we chant too in Havanyeja, we ask God for peace, not only to be yielded to us, Sanaha Bhavas Vasham Gavi. We don't ask God for only peace for ourselves, but for every life form in this universe. A boat will never float without water. Even though we may try as much as we can, we may strain every nerve, enough to injure ourselves. But the laws of nature, water needs to be there for a boat to sail, for a boat to float. It is never otherwise, even though we may try, but it will never happen. May I kindly ask all of you, since we are unable to see the screen, if you have your Atma Geet, please turn to page 262 in the Atma Geet, and let's sing this bhajan that says, we just mentioned, without detachment, without knowledge, we have no peace. Without contentment, we have no peace. There are a few things too. When we do not call God's name, a few things happen to us too. And what is it that happens to us? This bhajan on page 262 tells us, without God, we are all incomplete. God is that missing piece. Those of us who come to Mandir week after week, again and again, we know what that missing piece is, that connection. You miss, for those of us who come and continue to come week after week, 1 week if we miss, there's something amiss in our lives. We cannot wait for the next time to come back. But we know and we value, all of us here, what Mandir gives to us, what satsang gives to us, what we learn. And we take that out into our families, our family members, and even so we share it with whoever we interact with. And that's how we need to be. Sumiran karne, sumiran karne, sumiran karne, mere mana, mere mar prabhu, naam bina, sumiran karne, sumiran karne. and how desert-like the earth would be without rain. In the same way, without God's name, we would be just as parched. And a scholar without knowledge, Pandit, a scholar, Veda Vihina, Vihina is without. Just as a Pandit is without Veda, in the same way, we are incomplete without God's name. Without water, near water, Nadi river. Like a river without water, Dhenu Kshiradin. Like a cow without milk, Dhenu is a cow. Vani Satya Vina, Satya is truth, Vani is our speech. Speech without truth. Speech without truth is all lies. You can imagine how a person who continues to lie would be incomplete without God. And Jaisi, Taruvan, a tree, Phal, fruits, Khalibina Suna, just as a tree is incomplete without fruits. We look forward to fruits from a tree and we can satisfy our hunger. If a tree does not provide us fruits, it is incomplete. And in the same way, we are incomplete if we do not call God's name. And in conclusion, we should never offend anyone worthy of respect. Manusmriti tells us, Acharyam cha pravaktaram pitaram mataram gurum nahinsat brahmanan dashta sarvanshchaiva tapasvinaha sarvanshchaiva tapasvinaha. A person must never offend the teacher who has taught him. It is important for us to realize our mother and father were our first teachers before we even came into this world. Our mother and father were the first two teachers, and in that regard, they both are superior to any teacher we have had in our lives. But mother, father, and teacher are very, very important, for they mold us into who we are today. And I've chanted, all of us have chanted, Matri Devo Bhava, Pitri Devo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava, and Atithi Devo Bhava. Our mother is God, our father is God, our teachers are gods and goddesses. and our guests are gods and goddesses too. The goal or the objective or the wish of every teacher is to have the continuation of knowledge through teaching. A person must never offend such a teacher who gives of his resources, who has taught him, nor must he offend his mother, nor must he offend his father, a scholar, any respectable elderly person in the community. Cows, which are very helpful animals, they provide milk. And people performing austerities. We just performed an austerity. We did a Havan Yajna. It is not to be interrupted, or it is not ever to be offended. It is important, and when we understand this, when we know this, not to offend anyone who is worthy of the respect, who is knowledgeable, mother, father. If we see all the elders in this mandir as being mother and father, then no one will be offended. We will, like I said earlier, we will have the faith and the belief that the mothers and the fathers and the teachers, they know best. We'll never be offended, but we'll say thank you and we'll take what they're saying to us. It is important to not just say okay, but live the principle. Not only preach the principles, but live them in our day-to-day interactions. The goal and the objective of every teacher is to continue knowledge for his knowledge that he's taught to be continued. And again, Guruji comes to mind, because what he has taught us, it is only possible through his grace, through his teachings, that this Pravachan, this message, short message, that he has taught us, myself and all the Pandits and Panditas included, that we are able to carry on his teachings, his legacy. Although he's not physically here, but Mandir went on this morning, and that in itself, I feel, is a true blessing. Thank you all so much for listening, and namaste.